Hey everybody, it's Issa again, and I am back with another quick video. And this video is going to be about failure. Now, I put air quotes in the air because it's called failure so we can all know what I'm talking about, but it really doesn't identify as failure of what I'm really saying. And if you, like I, have read books by Napoleon Hill such as Law of Success, Think and Grow Rich, or Outwitting Devil, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say that it may be called failure, but we're identifying it as something completely different from what failure actually is. Now, most people in the world, and including myself, have gone through times in our lives where we feel like failures. I mean, we've hit the ground and we feel weak and we feel like there's nothing that we can do to change the circumstances that we're in. And sometimes we let those feelings and those things get the best of us. And it's hard to sometimes, feel like you can do something when the world around you is telling you and showing you that you can't. But in those times are the times where beauty happens. Those are the times where magic happens. And like Napoleon Hill says in most of all his books, I think maybe all of them, he says that failure is nothing but temporary defeat. And what true failure is when you give up altogether in trying. Okay, for example, say if you started a business and you expected the business to be doing better than what it is right now, and you're feeling like everything that you're trying isn't really working, you're not really getting the results that you wanted, and then you're just like, okay, I'm gonna stop doing this business, I'm gonna move on, I don't want to do this. And then you'll be taking on the feeling of, I failed at this kind of business, that business was a failure. Fair to say? But in reality, if that was not your definite purpose, if it was just a business that you were doing and you had no passion behind it and you decided to let it go, then fine, you can say that. But even still then, you still are not a failure. You still didn't fail, because the point of it is that when we hit those hiccups, when we hit those bottoms and we feel as though that things aren't looking the way that we want them to look, we have to understand that those hiccups, those problems, those things that we're facing, there's something in there we need to learn. There's something in there that needs to be sifted out, and we need to find the gold. We need to find the treasure in that failure. And like Napoleon Hill says, it's not actually failure, it's temporary defeat. You need to find what it is that you're actually missing, because that's the missing ingredient is in the failure. And once you realize that the failure is not a failure at all, it's actually a gift so you can get closer to your win, that's the magic right there. That's when things start to change. That's when you start looking at your life and you're like, I'm not attached to any way of this outcome. I just know that I'm doing this for my purpose. I'm doing this because this is what I want to do. And the way that it comes out will come out the way that the universe decides to compensate me for my efforts. If you haven't read Emerson's essay on compensation, you should pick it up so you can kind of understand the point even better. That everything that we do, every effort that we make, everything that we're doing that's towards something has to give us a reward in return. It's just the sow and you reap factor. Now, those returns may not come the way that you want them to or the way that you have, visualized it coming to, but they're coming, and you have to understand and believe that and go on with your business. And those temporary defeats are things that we can learn from. I mean, if you take, for example, if you've ever been in a bumper car, when you're hitting the rails what do you think the bumper is there for you to do? To get you back on track. So you may hit it and it may, bump you and, cause you to be shaken up. But in reality, it's really trying to get you back on track. It's trying to make sure that you can see that this is not the way you need to go. This is the way that you need to go. And it pushes you in another direction that's leading you towards your goal. Knowing that and putting the confidence behind understanding that is all that you need, enable for you to, make it in this life, for you to be able to be okay with hitting those walls and falling on your face, because at the end of the day, that's part of life. That's part of growing. That's part of learning. That's part of everything. If it was easy, everybody would do it. And if it was easy, it wouldn't be as profitable for you. It wouldn't be as exciting for you. It wouldn't be worth it. You wouldn't even do it. See, that's the thing. If we remember that our goal is bigger than the failure is nothing but a lesson. The temporary defeat is nothing but a lesson, and we got to go and look at it and examine it to find what is it that it's trying to teach us, because it's always trying to teach us something and always trying to have us realize things that we're supposed to realize a long time ago, but we seem to not understand certain things until our back is against the wall and we have no other choice. I know sometimes I move like that, and I'm getting better at doing that, where I wait till the last minute or until something big happens. Sometimes that's when I'll move. And in the reality of it, no, you have to consistently be on your job. You have to consistently be on it. You can't wait until it's too late. You have to continue to go on and fight for what you want, and continue to go on and believe in yourself. I have my times where I do feel like a failure, or I get down on myself for things that I do, and those are my weak times and ignorance that I have to deal with on my own. And I do deal with it in meditation, and I do deal with it in just pushing through and believing in myself and speaking to my mastermind and business partners, and really pushing myself to understand and really understand what life is about and what it is that I'm really trying to do, and how is it that I can accomplish those things the best way that I can. Because if we're not challenging ourselves to be better, if we're not challenging ourselves to reach the top of the mountain or any of those things, then what are we doing? What are we really doing in life? Are we just sitting and waiting to die, or what is the whole point? Why is it that we have to work? Why is it that we aspire to have things? Why is it that we're always going after something? There's something inside of all of us that always is aspiring for something, or always going after something, whether, you guys direct it towards a good thing or a bad thing is your decision, but something inside all of us is always going after something better and greater, or something that we feel as though that we need. So if we all have this ability to tap into our wants and go after them, we have to understand that there's going to be bumps and bruises along the way, that the world is not easy, and it's filled with other personalities and other spirits and other people with other objectives that don't line up with yours. And that's okay, because the people who do line up with you will show up. They always do. And it's because of where your focus is. If you're focusing on failure, then all the failure is going to come to you. If you're focused on winning, when failure comes, you're going to find your win still. You're always going to be looking at the win. I'm not telling you it's always going to be easy. You're always going to win. You're always going to feel like that. But you will eventually, because you're going to be like, this is not a setback. This is a comeback. This can't hold me back. This is only teaching me something. It's a stepping stone. It's something that I have to go through so I can get to where I need to go. And this path wasn't working, so it reverted me to go this way. That's all that really is saying to you in failure. So if you want to achieve your goals, if you want to live the life that you want to live, you got to be willing to fail. You got to be willing to do the work. You got to be willing to get yourself up. You got to be willing to try. You got to be willing to, not be rewarded for all of your efforts at one time, or the time that you're working on. Because one thing that you should know about the universe is probably never there when you call, but it's always on time. And that is the truth, and that is something to really honor and understand and say, I'm not going to stress myself out about these things, because if I do what I have to do, I will always get rewarded for my efforts. I will always be rewarded for all of the good or the bad that I do. I will be rewarded in good if I do good. I will be rewarded in bad if I do bad. I will be rewarded in the way that I see fit. I hope that everybody can, take the time and meditate on understanding that. And if you do take the time to meditate and understand that, I swear to you, it's gonna open up even more. And I do suggest, reading books on self-help. On Napoleon Hill has great catalog. Another book, Cybernetics, is a great one. Emerson's Law of Compensation is a great one. There's so many books out there. And also in the spiritual books right now, I'm reading actually Meditation, the Ancient Egyptian Path to Enlightenment, which is also great help in understanding, failure and what exactly it is that in life that we're trying to obtain and how we can actually obtain it. These are all forms of self-education that we have to continue to educate ourselves as entrepreneurs. You guys know it's all about self-education. It's all about, feeding your mind and feeding your body and feeding your soul what it needs so you can prosper and be the human beings who you're supposed to be, which is a powerful being. And I hope that you guys can all look at failure as nothing but a temporary defeat in the path that you thought you could acquire your goal, and that this temporary defeat is only here to maneuver you and to allow you to look at things different and allow you to make new, better, smarter plans to obtaining said goal. And this defeat is only here to ensure our victory. So I hope you guys found this helpful, and please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, The Wise Entrepreneur, for more videos like this, for more tips on how we can achieve our goals and get to where we want and live the lives that we all really want to live, because there's no other reason of living if not to go after what you want. That's all we're here to do. That's all we want, to experience life, to feel the power that we actually have, and to have the knowledge to acquire said power. So I hope you guys like this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.